Well, one thing you can do is go inside and eat some food. That's always a good thing to do. There's a lot of great restaurants in Winnipeg, and there's an event that started on February 1st, runs till February 11th. It's called Dine About Winnipeg. They're in their 16th year, and in the studio with me this morning is the founder and editor of Ciao Magazine, which sponsors this whole event, Laurie Hughes. Good morning, Laurie.
Good morning.
You made it. Thank you.
Yes.
How was your drive this morning?
Nip and tuck.
Yeah, no kidding. The drive has been horrible for everybody this morning, so I'm glad you could make it and you made the effort to come in this morning.
Yes. Well, I couldn't have thought of a better week to heat things up in Winnipeg with Dine About Winnipeg than this one.
Absolutely. So it's the 16th year for Dine About Winnipeg. There's some restaurants that have been with you since the beginning, some new restaurants. How have you seen the whole scene change over the last 16 years?
Oh, well, Winnipeg has always had an emerging restaurant scene, but I don't think there has ever been a more exciting time to dine out in Winnipeg than there is right now. We've always had great multicultural restaurants, authentic restaurants, and that's really the buzzword right now, authenticity and what you're getting, and Winnipeg's always had it. So that's one of the beauties of our restaurant scene. We've always had a very generous restaurant industry as well. So portions have been, distinctly generous, and more so than other cities, for example, when you compare dining out in other places. So this event really is designed to encourage people to get out and try something new and to visit places, discover food experiences that they haven't had before. And, with a 3-course sort of table d'hôte style European sort of origins on this, a price fixed menu gives you 3 full courses, appetizer, entree, dessert. So you're actually going out to dine rather than grab and go, which is really the other part of our culture and what's changed in the last few years. The
other thing I noticed too is a lot of times when people go out to a restaurant, they'll just order a meal. They won't necessarily do the appetizer and the dessert, and so this gives them a chance to really dine.
Well, that's exactly it, and I think that's a bit of a byproduct of how generous the restaurants are. They've got generous entrees, so that kind of follows suit. But this is a perfect chance to see how chefs would pair the meal, like with starting the appetizer, entree, and dessert. And make no mistake, this is something that the chefs get a little competitive about. And when you look at our menus, all of the menu items are on our website, ciaowinnipeg.com. For people to peruse, and certainly that helps make the decision on where they want to go out. You can see that the luxury ingredients are being thrown around, and there's shrimp, there's other seafood, there's steak, so it feeds the diner who likes meat and potatoes, and it also feeds the diner that is looking for something a little more creative and maybe avant-garde.
I think that sometimes people take for granted restaurants, right? I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, to run a restaurant and to keep it going. I know the scene here in Winnipeg is seeing more and more restaurants open, but also some restaurants close as well, and it's a lot of work that they put into that. And so you guys have to keep up all the time because the restaurant scene continues to change every month. New things pop up, things close, and
well, that's exactly right, and the bar keeps raising, and so as new restaurants open, it challenges those that are in existence because people are always interested in checking out what's new, and so again, this is an event that, as you mentioned, there are restaurants that have been involved with it since its inception. Restaurants, you've had Scott from Fusion Grill on air here; he has been involved, and Fusion Grill has been involved since its inception. Same with Bailey's. These are great dining institutions, and yet they always have to stay creative and fresh to keep people interested. And, they are finding, and so are restaurants right across the board, that it's never been more competitive. And I think that that's one of the things that we certainly try to encourage through our magazine is that there are restaurants that are really operating as sort of passion projects, and they wear their heart on their sleeve and they persevere. And it's not necessarily high yielding, although some people may think that the restaurant industry is
glamorous.
Yes, but
24-hour day job. Glamorous.
These are people who just love to cook. They love to feed people, and that's what hospitality is. And we've got it good in Winnipeg.
Absolutely. The thing that always intrigues me is to look at their menus when I look at the menus for Dine About Winnipeg, and to see what ingredients they use, because all you have to do is look out the window and realize it's not that easy to get good quality ingredients all the time in the city of Winnipeg, especially in the winter. It's a challenge. I mean, you have to adapt your menu, especially for those that these days, you're talking about local, right? Local foods and local produce. And to try to source some of those, they work pretty hard at it.
It's true, and it means sourcing smartly. And there are companies now that are they're using hydroponics, and they are able to grow throughout the year. But it also means taking our seasons and knowing what we can preserve over the course of the winter months, and what we can still how we can still be mindful of using Manitoba grown ingredients or Canadian grown ingredients. But that's one of the things that has evolved over the years in the way we eat. We're used to eating whatever exotic fruit we want at whatever time of the year we want. There isn't that anticipation of that tomato coming off the vine in August, because we can get tomatoes any time of the year from, the other part of the world. Yeah. So, restaurants take a lot of great care to lead the charge of Manitoba made and eating local, buying local, starting with buying local, and diners really are the benefactors of that.
Yeah, I'm in the studio. We're talking with Laurie Hughes, who's the founder and editor of Ciao Winnipeg, Ciao Magazine. You can go to ciaowinnipeg.com. We're sort of talking about Dine About Winnipeg, which is in its 16th year. And the way it works is there's 3 different menus, $18, $28, and $38 menus. Whole bunch of different restaurants there. What are some of the new restaurants added this year?
Well, we have a new restaurant in the marketplace that Ciao Magazine named as one of our favorite, one of the best new restaurants of 2018, Little Goat, out on Portage Avenue. We've got
My son works there.
Yeah.
He does. He works in the dishes.
Oh, that's
He cleans
awesome.
The dishes.
There we go. We've got an extra plug there. We've got restaurants that have been around in the marketplace, but it's their first time as part of Dine About, like the Nook Diner and Tuxedo Village Restaurant, and awesome, great comfort foods that are offered up in both of those spots. Super cheap, cheerful bargains that you're going to experience in both those spots. Inferno's is back in the lineup, and as you said, there are some that have been around for a number of years. Cafe Sissoir, Cafe Dario. I'm going to name drop a few here, but we've got a lot.
That's good. They're all listed on the website too.
They're all listed on the website, and also in the February-March issue of Ciao Magazine, which is on racks at specialty food stores and the private wine stores in the city.
So if you have to say one thing to the listeners to encourage them to get out and eat, what would it be?
Oh, wow. I would say recognize that we've got an amazing food city, and now's your chance to get out and try a restaurant that could soon be your new favorite, and you can try it on a bargain price point. So don't miss out on this.
Absolutely. I was out at a restaurant. I know Chris was at a restaurant. Simon's been. We've all been out to restaurants so far, so we'll continue to check them out. It started February 1st, runs till February 11th. It's called Dine About Winnipeg. You can go to ciaowinnipeg.com for all the listing of the restaurants, and they've got all their menus listed, so you can choose whatever food looks delicious and enticing to you. And I've been looking at them for the last number of days, and every time I look at them, I see something that I want to try. So
isn't that exactly the truth?
Yeah. This is we're talking about Dine About Winnipeg. Thank you so much for coming in, Laurie. Pleasure to have you back again, and hopefully we'll do this again next year when we do the 17th edition of Dine About Winnipeg.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.